Olá pessoal, welcome back to the Sounds of Portuguese. My name is Adelina and I make language learning videos for European Portuguese here on YouTube. In this video, I'd like to go over some of the political slogans that were seen across Portugal during our election campaigns of this year. The elections happened on March 10th and I want to do this from a language point of view, not a political one. So let's go. The type of elections that we had this year were called eleições legislativas. Eleições legislativas. And the purpose of these elections is to elect our members of parliament, which are called deputados. Deputados. Portugal's 2024 election was marked by some intense campaigns and some very interesting slogans that I want to decipher today. So let's look at the first one. Pela habitação, não lhes des descanso. Pela habitação, não lhes des descanso. Pela habitação, não lhes des descanso. So this one means for housing, don't give them a break. Let's break down the grammar. First, we have pela, and that's por plus the feminine the, which is a in Portuguese. We know it's a because the word habitação is feminine. Pela habitação. Não lhes des descanso, so this part is the don't give them a rest. This is a command tense and specifically an informal command tense for the person tu. And we know this because of this S over here. And if it were a formal command tense, the conjugation would be de. Não lhes dê descanso. We also know it's about them because of this word over here, lhes. This is the clitic pronoun for they, and it's used in what's called the indirect object position. Just as a side note, if you're still struggling about the clitic positioning in European Portuguese, these are the me, te, se, the u, the lu, when is it nu, when is it lu, when is it u, when is it a. I have a free lesson on my blog about that, and I have a video in the works that I will post as soon as it is ready. This next one says, mais ação por Portugal inteiro. Mais ação por Portugal inteiro. Mais ação por Portugal inteiro. And it means more action for a whole Portugal. This one is simpler than the previous one, with a call for more action for a unified Portugal. Mais is indicating some urgency. And if you're wondering why por was used and not para, that was to convey an exchange of situations or behaviours, meaning that with more action, there will be a unified Portugal. If para had been used instead, it would just refer to the whole of Portugal being the recipient rather than a sense of togetherness. So to give you a better idea, for a Portugal that is whole rather than for all of Portugal. If you're still getting confused on when to use por or when to use para, I have a video explaining exactly how to use them and also another link to my blog down in the description box below as well. Number 3, basta de injustiças, mais, insert party, vida melhor. Basta de injustiças, mais, vida melhor. And this means enough injustices, more of, insert party, better life. Or more of that party for better life. Now let me do a quick breakdown of the grammar on this one. We started off with a command tense again, basta. Basta means enough. But if you're wondering what the difference is between basta and chega, it's a good question and it's actually not a massive difference, but there is a little nuance. So they both mean enough, and basta leans more towards something being sufficient, and chega leans more towards having reached a limit or something's going overboard. That's enough. I imagine they didn't go with the latter due to there being another political party with that name, Chega, and with vastly different political views than the party behind this particular slogan over here. Wanted to avoid confusion, I would imagine. É dia 10. É para mudar. É dia 10. É para mudar. So it's the 10th. It's time to change. This slogan cleverly intertwined the date of the election. It was to the point, very straightforward, and the repetition of gives it that much more rounded, it is time. It is time now. Time for change. This next one reads, vamos acabar com a corrupção e os taxos em Portugal. Vamos acabar com a corrupção e os taxos em Portugal. From a linguistic perspective, and also in my opinion, this one stood out the most for its cultural reference to a Portuguese idiomatic expression, ter tacho or arranjar tacho, which is a symbol for cronyism or nepotism. So, tacho is a pot, a cooking pot, you know, one of those ones with a lid on it. And saying something like, ele arranjou belo tacho is like saying like, oh, look at him, he got himself a nice little comfy job there through no merit of his own, just by virtue of who he is or who he knows. I think these slogans did a very good job at capturing the political landscape of Portugal during the time of this election, and it also showcased the richness of the Portuguese language. If you have a submission, if you'd like me to talk or feature something in a video, please join the Facebook group. You can always submit a picture there, and I'll see you then. Até já!